Hello children, today we'll be doing the first story from the book The Adventures of Don Quixote. The first lesson, the name of the lesson is Don Quixote sets out in search of adventure. Now, Don Quixote was a gentleman who lived long ago in the sunny land of Spain. Now, Spain is a place, so he used to live there. Now, let's know something about him. He was rich enough, very rich. He had lots of money to live in comfort. Comfort means relaxed, suitable way. He had lots and lots of money in his village of La Mancha. That's the name of the village. So he lived in the village of La Mancha and he had lots of money. He had a man, one person. He had a man to look after his farm. He has a farmhouse and a farm. So his farm was being looked after by a man. And a housekeeper, that's a lady, to look after him and his house. So she would take care of his house and everything, inside, outside, whatever is required for him. Now, remember, he had lots of money. He had a man who could take care of his farm and a housekeeper to take care of his inside the building. Okay, that mansion in which he lived. He was not married. That means he was a bachelor. Not married. He was not married, but he had a niece. A niece living with him to keep him company. See, he lived alone. And when you live alone, you feel very lonely. So he had his niece and she lived with him to keep him company so that he would not feel lonely. He could live as he wished. Whatever lifestyle he wanted, he could wish because he had lots of money. He had one man, I told you earlier, who to take care of his farm and the housekeeper to take care of his building. Now, and how did he wish to live? Now we have to come to understand how he wished to live. He spent his time reading stories. See, reading stories is a very good habit. In fact, you children must develop this habit. It's very nice. Don't watch television. These programs not always meant for you. Some programs are for the adults. Some are not for you small children. So, if you want to watch Discovery Channel, watch history. These are good things. But the best is read storybooks. And you'll really enjoy. You'll have a lovely time. You don't require anybody. Okay? So now, he spent his time reading stories. And you know what type of stories he liked? The stories he loved most of all were stories of brave knights. Brave knights. Knights are soldiers, warriors who fight. Okay, so he liked to listen to those stories. He's reading books of brave knights who rode out. They went on a horse in search of adventure. They would go in search of adventure, go to different places, fight, and then they love adventure. Now while he was reading, he became so engrossed in the stories. Now what stories are there? Now these knights, which he would read about, they fought giants. Giants are huge, like enormous people, men or giants. So huge, they fought with giants and rescued. Rescued means saved. Rescued beautiful ladies, lovely, beautiful ladies who had been imprisoned. Now those ladies were imprisoned. Imprisoned means they were kept in a prison, all alone, and she's screaming, "Help! Help!" And then these knights would come and rescue, take that girl or the lady out, that knight would again fight with that giant, because the giant would say, I will not allow you to take this girl. But this knight kill them, and those giants would be killed. He would take the girl and his horse, run away that way. Okay, so these knights, they fought giants and rescued beautiful ladies who had been imprisoned in enchanted castles. Enchanted means magical. Magical castles. Like suddenly you'll see the castle and suddenly disappear. Absolutely not there. And again, one castle. So like that, enchanted castles by wicked magicians. Wicked magicians would catch those girls or the ladies and imprison them, and the giant was there. Now, Don Quixote would read all these stories, and these stories would play in his mind, and all day he sat, sitting all alone by himself. And he sat in his courtyard. Courtyard is a small open area in front of his house, reading under the shade of the tree. Sometimes at night he read by the candlelight, no light, absolutely nothing, and the candlelight, and he's reading. Now while reading, when he had finished reading his own books, he borrowed others, because they had no more books, all finished. So he would ask the neighbor, hey, excuse me, you have any books, story books? He would take it. He would take from someone else. So he would borrow from others. And even he borrowed from the village priest. Now in that village, La Mancha, remember, in that village there was a priest. You know what's a priest? A holy person. Okay, so he would borrow books from the village priest also. When he finished reading those also, he even sold. Now what he did, what to do now? So many books I've got, let me sell it. So he sold some of his own, not books, fields. He can't give away his books because his books were precious to him. So he had some fields, he sold his fields. Here, take it. He sold one field, got some money, he bought some more books to buy some more books. All this reading took away his appetite. Appetite means desire, urge to eat. He would not feel hungry. He would just read books. Just read, not at all hungry. So his desire for reading books finished. He ate less. Now if you eat less, your mummy sometimes tell you, no, eat, beta, eat. Because if you don't eat, you won't become strong. You have to fight. You have to grow like a big boy. All these things. So, now he had no mother over there, but he was not eating. He was eating less, reading more, and he ate less and less. And his niece, you know that girl who was living with him, his niece, and the housekeeper, that other lady who was taking care of the house, grew very worried. They were worried about Don Quixote. He's eating less, becoming thin, very thin. And they were very worried over him. Worse still, he read so many books about brave knights, brave soldiers, that he even began to forget. What? He forgot who he really was. Who he was? Don Quixote. Actually, from where the name comes, we'll come to know later. But he forgot who he really was. Like suddenly he would get up. Hey, who am I? What's my name? I don't know. Like that. He will become spellbound. Don't know himself. He forgot that he was not a young and handsome or clever, and began to think. Now he began to think of something else. He did not know about himself. He forgot that he was not young. He was old. And he was not handsome. But he thought, now I am young. I'm handsome. Just like those knights. Which storybooks he read. So he started imagining. Now he began to think that he could also do brave deeds. Brave deeds. Deeds mean work. Like those knights were doing brave things, he thought he could do brave deeds. Just as well as the knights. He read about those knights like that. So then one day, at last, he made up his mind. I am going to be a knight. He said to himself, I shall put on my shining armor. Armor is a cover. It's a weapon. Like if anyone, ouch, nothing will happen. Strong. It is made of iron. Okay, it's like a shield covering. So he thought of wearing a shining armor and saddle. Sit on a horse, on a noble steed, on a noble horse. And I shall go in search of adventure. I'll go in search of, so I'll become a knight. This is all what he was imagining. But now, where can he get a shining armor? So he's thinking. Idea. There was actually no armor for sale in the shops outside. In the village, no shop had armor because no one wore an armor any longer. These people were all peace-loving people. No knights, no soldiers. They were just farmers. So how can you get an armor in such a place? Then he thought. He remembered that he had a suit of armor. There was a suit, full suit of armor. Where? In the cellar. Cellar is a room. It can be down, it can be upstairs or downstairs. Small room. Generally, like we have a small storehouse, a small storeroom where you keep all your toys and all those things which you like. But your mummy says, oh, so many things. Why did you keep it in that place? See, look at the place. It's looking so dirty. Now he had a cellar. C-E-L-L-A-R. Not to sell. It is a place where things are kept. A cellar. So he remembered there was a suit of armor in the cellar. And that cellar did not belong to him. It belonged to his great-grandfather. Now his great-grandfather, what he had done, his great-grandfather had lain there, had kept all those things. And now though that suit of armor was there, but now after so many years, nobody had gone to that cellar, that room, so it had collected all on the top. It had collected dust, all dusty. Why? Because it was very, 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 very old. And many years ago, nobody went to that cellar. For it was more than 100 years. Understood? More than 100 years. Don Quixote, he picked up that armor. He scrubbed it. He scrubbed it hard and then took polish. Till that armor shone like the sun, glowing sun. Beautiful. He was feeling very nice. Now, that is the armor in the front you wear. Now he was thinking of a helmet. Unfortunately, he got a helmet, but you know what happened? The helmet, the front part, you have that front part like this, you put on your head, cover your face. The front part was not there. The part which covers the face. Now this part was not there. So it's missing, just the helmet. Now he's thinking what to do. No problem. No problem. If it's not there, it's not there. This did not dismay. He did not make him feel sad, like, oh no, I don't have a helmet with a front shield. No way, no problem. They did not dismay Don Quixote, who at once began to make a whizzer out of a cardboard. He took a piece of cardboard, made like a band. Now he has to tie it up also. Remember that. You can't just keep it over, it'll fall down. Keep it here, it'll fall down. So he had to make a whizzer, a cardboard whizzer. So he made it. He worked on it. 1 week it took. Not 1 day, 1 week making that strip. Your helmet will come here and the strip will come here. Like a crown in front on the forehead. This portion. So he made a whizzer out of cardboard. He worked on it, working on it for, I told you, for a week. And then when it was finished, he was satisfied. Nice whizzer I made. And then he tested it, he kept it. Put his helmet. Then he drew out the sword. You know what's a sword? Long, like a knife. He drew out the sword, and then as he drew the sword and struck, twang! This, not the helmet, this cardboard whizzer broke. It fell down to pieces. Oh no! Now Don Quixote was very upset. What to do? What to do by this misfortune, bad luck? My whizzer, this cardboard piece with all those things, broke. Anyhow, he tried again. Try. Like someone tells you, you made a mistake, no problem. You learn by mistakes. So like that he tried. And he tried again, and this time he lined the whizzer, made one nice lining with thick, thin sheets of iron sheets, and then tied it up. He tied that side portion, the side of the whizzer to the helmet. Twang, and then twang. He tied it up. Now that ribbon, it was a green color ribbon. See how comical it looks. He's got a helmet, he's got a whizzer, and a green ribbon. And then he felt, nice. He felt very pleased with the result. Then he said, Bus, I'll not take again this water. No. I'll not touch it again. He decided, no more. For it will be foolish. Because again, will break. So no. It'll be foolish to risk spoiling such a nice, fine helmet. Let it stay where it is. So now he's got his helmet, he's got the armor, and that whizzer on the helmet. Now everything was fine. Now that his armor was well in order, Don Quixote turned his attention. Now I need a noble steed, a nice horse. Because he knew in the storybooks he was reading, a true knight had to have a brave, a noble steed, a horse. Thinking, he remembered there was in his stable is a place where horses are kept. So there was in the stable a white horse, white color. A white horse, but not like a strong horse. No. A white horse, and was so old, thin, bony. You can see all bones. You can't see flesh. Thin horse. And its working days were over. Working days means his days to work. He was old. He needed to be out. We say no, old man, gone. Okay, like sometimes you tell them, in my school, I have the teacher is grown old. We'll go out and all that. So people think, but you know something? Old is gold. Okay, so always remember, old is not to be sold or thrown away. So he thought of that horse, the thin old horse. Although his working days were over, that horse was old, but still he said, no, I'll take it. He must be said that in appearance, now if you see that horse, here it must be said that in appearance, if you look at the horse matched the owner. Match the owner means if the horse is thin, old, even Don Quixote was thin and old. So just like the driver, that's Don Quixote, and the horse, the car. Like that it was. So matching the hero and the zero, both horse and the master. So it was matching. Now he thought, this is the horse I'll have, and I'll call him my noble steed. Now Don Quixote gave to this ancient horse, this old horse, one name, like Prithviraj. You know Prithviraj? Not Kapoor. Okay, Prithviraj Chauhan. He had a horse. His horse name was Chetak. Okay, so like that, he also thought, I must name my horse. What will I give a name? He called it Don Quixote. No, his name was Don Quixote. So he gave his horse the name of Rosinante. Or Rosinante. Okay, Rosinante. And so Rosinante became his noble steed, his noble horse. Now, Don Quixote got everything. Horse, helmet, armor, visor, sword is already there, everything. Now Don Quixote could never see things as they were. Now he thought, I am not Don Quixote. I am what? I'm a knight. I'm a powerful, brave knight. So he always thought. He saw things, imagined what he imagined that it was, not what it really was. If he saw a human being and he thought that human being to be a giant, according to him it's a giant. But we all know it's a human being, not a giant. So whatever he saw things and he wished in his mind, he thought it to be so. And Rosinante, that horse, looked a suitable horse for this gallant, brave knight. Gallant means brave knight. Now, Don Quixote was called himself like Don Quixote of La Mancha. That's the place. So people will say, here comes Don. Who Don? Don Quixote of La Mancha. Now, one more thing he needed. One more thing he needed before he could set out, go out on his adventure. What he needed? Yeah. In all the stories which he read, a knight had to have a lady. See, the hero is there. Heroine must be there. So the knight had to have a lady whom he could declare to be the fairest. My lady is the fairest, the most beautiful in the land. Okay, so now this helped the knight to fight, because if he has a nice lady behind him means backing him, supporting him. Okay, so if he has a nice lady supporting him behind him, then he could fight anybody. He'll not get scared of anybody. The whole world. Why? He's got a lady behind him, supporting him. Like, if you do anything wrong, Mama and Papa will support you. Okay, so you're not worried. Like sometimes you tell your friends, hey, my daddy is very strong. He can punch your daddy, hit your daddy. You think so? It's like that. So he also thought that he must have a lady, because in the storybooks it's written, all the knights had a lady, and the fairest and the most beautiful lady. So, and he could send Now he's thinking of all these things. And this was the thing he was thinking. No problem. But he can fight anybody. He knew it very well. And he could send to her any giant. Like if he's got a nice lady, he'll tell her, go to that giant whom he had defeated, to beg for mercy at her feet. He can tell this lady, yeah, go to that giant. Then she, what I'll do? You go to that giant and tell him, hey giant, down, put your head down, bow down on my feet. Why? Because Don Quixote had hit him. So that lady can tell that person, the giant, put your head down. You were trying panga, trying to act smart with Don Quixote and first of all with me. Saw what Don Quixote did to you? So like that. So he thought, I'll have a lady and I'll send the lady to the giant and the giant will have to beg for mercy. Now he's thinking, which lady will I get? Such an idiot, huh? You know him. Thin, lanky, horse also old, thin. So, who will be that lady? He's thinking. There was a problem. Not so easy to get a lady. Because he knew few ladies, fair ladies. He thought about it anxiously. That lady, no. For some time, then he remembered, no. I saw one pretty lady, one girl in the next village, not this village, next village. That village name, this village was called La Mancha. That village was called Toboso. Toboso. Okay, Toboso. He remembered, he saw one girl, pretty girl, nice, beautiful girl. Okay, but he had never spoken to her. He had not even given her a thought before. Like he didn't even think about her. But now, he's imagining her. Nice. Now he chose her as his lady. She will be mine and only mine. Okay, where did she live? In the next village. Name of the village? Toboso. He gave her the sweetest name. Now you have to give her a name. I told you he never spoke to her, so he does not know her name. Thinking, let me give her a name. And he gave her a name, sweet name, beautiful name, lovely name, which he read in his books. Okay, that name he called her Dulcinea. 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 Dulcinea of La Mancha? No, Toboso. Okay, so he thought about her and his fanciful mind, imagination. Dulcinea, where are you? And his mind, and he's imagining her. Dulcinea is not an ordinary girl. She is beautiful princess. She is mine, La Mancha, Don Quixote. Like that. He started imagining. Now, everything is over. He had now his shining armor, his noble steed horse, and his beautiful lady. Which lady? Dulcinea of Toboso. Now he was ready to set out. Let's go. Tan. Here he goes. He got up very early one morning. Early in the morning. Like you also get up early in the morning to go to school fresh. Remember, every day is a different day. It might be a Monday or a Tuesday, but it's a different Monday. So you should never think about, again, Monday, whole week, study. No. You'll have interesting teachers coming, teaching you interesting facts. They'll make you laugh. Learning will be fun. You'll enjoy it. It won't be studies. It will be lovely. You'll laugh. You'll enjoy. And you'll say, I want to know more about Don Quixote. It's like that. So now, he started. He got up one morning before anybody who could awake. All was sleeping. All was sleeping. He got up. He was keeping his adventure a secret. I won't tell anybody. Shh. Top secret. Nobody will come to know. He kept his secret silent. He got up and early morning. And then everyone was sleeping because he feared, he was scared. Of whom? Of his family people. Who's in his family? That housekeeper, his niece, and also the people. He was scared that they would prevent him, stop him from going if they came to know, hey, we are going. No, stay at home, don't go. So he put on his armor. When? Early in the morning. He put on his armor, tied his helmet with that green ribbons, saddled, sat on the horse, Rosinante, okay, and set out armored with a spear, with a sword, and a shield. A shield is like a plate in the front, like you can cover, like that, with a shield, in search of adventure, like a knight of old times. So you understood? This was the first chapter, okay? So you found it interesting? If yes, then press like and subscribe. I'll tell you more stories. You'll enjoy it in the afternoon, anytime. Have a good time, okay? Take care and smile, because the world loves it